My girlfriend is bad with money and I feel like she takes advantage of me sometimes. My girlfriend is bad with money and I sometimes feel like she's taking advantage of me. I have been dating my girlfriend for about 3 years and I make roughly 5 times more than she does. I grew up in a family with a lot of money, but I'm pretty frugal and live well below my means. She grew up in a pretty poor family. She lived with them before she moved in with me and has a lot of credit card debt/loan debt. She's never really lived not with her parent. I'm not passing any judgment, I'm just giving you context. We live together and it really has started to irk me how bad she is with money. She lives at my house, pays no rent, I buy all the groceries, I pay for all the trips and vacations, and I pay for all the dinners when we go out. She chips in about $100 a month, which really doesn't put a dent in anything. I told her early in the relationship that I wanted to see her become more financially stable. I know she probably won't ever make as much as me, but I wanted a real contributing partner. At least someone conscientious of how much money she spends and how much I spend on her. She always complains she has no money and has often brought up starting a spicy Twitter as a way to make money. Every time she has an issue with her car, I pay for it. I just don't know where all her paychecks go. She gets fast food or takeout every day even though I keep the house stocked with groceries, many of which she likes and asks for specifically. God knows how much food I've thrown these past 2 years that were for her that she asked for but never touched because she got sushi every night. She buys a lot of jewelry on sale for someone with money problems. Every time we go to dinner, she gets the most expensive thing on the menu no matter what, plus multiple drinks. It just irks me to see, 1, her complain about having no money while spending what little she does have, and 2, being so damn expensive every time we go anywhere. I'm looking for a new house and I ask if she would be able to help me with about 15% of the down payment. I'd pay the rest and make all the mortgage payments, and she says she isn't even close to being able to do that. I bring all this up to her, but she gets defensive immediately. She says that I don't know what it's like to be poor. I don't, I admit, and that I make so much more money than her, so what should I care? Crying happens early and often. Promises are made but things never get better. What do you guys think? Is there any way to approach the problem? Or should I cut and run? Next story 2. My boyfriend lied to me just to be with me. To start off, I'm not great with explaining myself and sometimes I over-explain and still miss my point. This situation isn't the only thing he's lied about. And I understand most people don't see the problem, so I'm coming for advice. My boyfriend and I have been together a year. I know it's not a long time for most people, but a lot happens within time like this. When me and my boyfriend first started talking and getting to know each other, it came to my attention he liked to smoke. I told him flat out that being with someone that smokes isn't something I want because of my past relationship. For further detail, my ex of 5 years smoked a lot. And I know that sounds like a long time given that I'm only 21, but we got together in high school. Anyways, he would smoke so much that that's all his day would really consist of. He didn't have a job, only I did, and he spent all day at home watching TV, smoking, and playing his games. So he had a lot of spare time. If it wasn't me giving him money for his habit, it was his dad. But when I would ask to spend time with him and ask him not to smoke, he'd yell at me and tell me to leave him alone. And one time he got so high I hit a breaking point and told him I was done and was leaving. He stood in front of the door saying I can't leave, and it got so bad he was in my face screaming at me and telling me I'm not leaving, and was grabbing me telling me to hit him because he knew I wanted to, and I backed myself into a corner scared, and he was so mad he threw me across the room. And that's one of the bigger reasons I just don't like it anymore and don't want to be with someone that does. Back to my current boyfriend. I explained this situation and other reasonings, and he said that he wanted to slow down and then quit altogether, so I don't have anything to worry about. Well, for the first few months I was really cool about the fact that he was still smoking, since he wasn't just going to quit cold turkey. Well, about 3 or so months in, he finally stopped smoking and was obviously having a hard time with it, and after a while said he wants to try once a week, then every 2 weeks, so on and so forth. And that's how it's been the last 4+ months maybe. But the issue is that within this last year he's going back and forth saying he's going to continue to keep smoking and that he's not going to quit. Then he says he is going to, and now it's just going in circles. It's just frustrating because he's always trying to find a reason to smoke. We've had multiple arguments because he finds any excuse to smoke and cheat, and he goes as far as joking about smoking and hitting a pen because he knows I don't like it and he'll get a reaction out of me. And I finally brought it up about him saying he said he was going to quit and smoke every so often, which I'm fine with. BTW, we came to a compromise about it. I don't mind if he smokes every once in a while, just not every day and so often. And he said I lied. I only said that so I could bag you. I'm not going to stop smoking, and then said only reason I would quit smoking is because I don't want to lose you, but I keep telling him time and time again I'm not going to keep doing this back and forth. He lied about a lot of stuff just to be with me. And I don't think that's fair or okay. I told him how I felt and he led me on with false promises, and I honestly feel so betrayed. And I don't know what to do. And I don't mean to make anyone mad if you don't think it's a big deal, but this is something that matters to me. Next, story 3. My best friend got really mad at me, but also hurt my feelings in the process. I'm on a women's sports team in college, and a girl who I considered my closest friend on the team recently lashed out at me in a way I've never seen, and now I'm hesitant to speak to her again soon. I recently got a car on campus, so I offered rides all around to go shopping and stuff because I thought it would be fun, and it would just be a nice thing to do cause we're friends. The other night I was giving her a ride to a game, but when we got to the field they told us it was somewhere else. We were driving to the other field when we passed 3 boys, and she told me to ask them if they needed a ride. I told Jane that they weren't boys on the team, and I didn't recognize them at all. She insisted they were from the team, and I laughed it off saying that they weren't and kept on driving. She made me stop the car and yelled out to them asking if they needed a ride to the new location, and they just awkwardly stared as I drove away. I laughed again, assuring her it was not people we knew, and she began to yell at me. "Stop gaslighting me. I know who they were. You're not always right about everything, so stop being such a dick about everything." At this point I was awestruck since I had never seen this side of her before. Naturally I'm a very unassertive girl, so I just immediately started apologizing and telling her she was right. However, there was good reason for not wanting to give these 3 boys a ride. My car is very small and only has 3 other seats, so I could not safely fit 3 more people plus her in my car. Also, I thought it was my car, I can do what I want with it. After the incident, I was really mad, so I drove back to my place to cool down, then eventually made my way to the field. She acted as if nothing happened, and continued to ask more favors of me, like giving her some food I bought. Her and I are different in some aspects, but we had a lot in common, which is why we became close in the first place. The more I reflect, the more bumps I see in our friendship. I know I'm not perfect, and I have flaws, but she seems to shame me for everything. She criticizes my driving every time I give her a ride. She borderline shames me for drinking alcohol and having casual hookups, even though we're in college and I've never been in a romantic relationship. I understand that some people have different views on those sort of things, which is fine, but making me feel even worse about myself and my beliefs doesn't feel healthy. She's also the only person who's ever genuinely criticized me on these things, and not in a joking manner. It really hurt my feelings that she yelled at me, and now I feel no desire to talk to her for a while, which makes me feel worse. I also don't want to bring that specific incident up, because I don't want to seem petty. This happened 2-ish days ago, and I'm still sore from it. AITA for not letting go of something that seems so petty. Should I talk to her about this and how much it hurt my feelings? Or should I just let it go and act like everything's okay?